the approval to make the first cars maybe in October if we're fortunate.
We are 70% water and only 30% land. And so really, the availability of fresh water is simply about energy and transport.
In a shocking announcement, Elon Musk has unveiled an engine that will not just change the future, it will redefine it. This is no ordinary engine, but a revolutionary water-powered engine that could shake up the entire transportation and energy landscape in the future. Musk has turned ideas that were dismissed as science fiction for years into reality. This technology not only saves fuel, but also gives humanity a new weapon in the fight against pollution. The question is this engine just a technological marvel or the beginning of a global revolution? In this video, we will show you how this engine works, what amazing technology is hidden behind it, and why companies around the world are now taking it very seriously. If you too want to know how this discovery can become not just an innovation, but a boon for generations to come, then stay connected with us. And yes, before moving on, do subscribe to the channel so that you get information about such amazing discoveries first. Elon Musk has once again surprised the world. In a sudden announcement on Twitter, he said that Tesla is now leaving battery technology behind and moving towards hydrogen power. This is not only a big turn in the direction of Tesla, but also a reversal of Musk's own old ideas. Musk, who once called hydrogen fuel cells a stupid idea, has surprised everyone with this U-turn. The foundation of this change was laid by the technical obstacles in the production of 4,680 batteries. According to Musk, energy solutions should not only be sustainable but also practical. This thinking forced him to think in a new direction, and this is where the innovation was born, which Musk is calling a water engine. This is not an ordinary engine, but a system that produces energy through water, and its impact on the environment is almost zero. Musk says that this water-based technology can change the definition of not only Tesla, but the entire auto industry. A time is now ahead where cars will emit no smoke or noise, only cleanliness, efficiency, and speed. This move is not only a bold move in terms of technology, but also a far-sighted decision taken keeping in mind the future of the planet. Elon Musk has always broken the boundaries that others consider to be set in stone. This passion of his sets him apart from the rest of the world. And now, with his water engine, are we going to see the beginning of an era where petrol and diesel become history? For Elon Musk, Tesla was never just a car company. For him, it was a movement, a mission that stood up to change the thinking of the entire automobile industry. His dream was to make people understand that electric cars could not only be at par with petrol and diesel vehicles, but could also be better than them, faster, smarter, and much more exciting to drive. But Musk's thinking was not limited to just roads. When he founded SpaceX, his vision went beyond Earth. He imagined that one day humans would live on Mars, and that day would come when space travel would be cheap and common. The technologies he created, such as the successful landing of rockets and their repeated use, were previously considered impossible. But Musk made them a reality. Tesla's story is also full of struggle and perseverance. When it was launched in 2003, people had a perception about electric cars that they were slow, weak, and impractical. But Musk broke these perceptions. The blockbuster launch of the Tesla Roadster showed the world that electric vehicles can be powerful. The subsequent Model S, X, 3, and Y not only strengthened Tesla's position in the market, but also proved that EVs are no longer just an option. They have become mainstream. Musk's vision was not limited to vehicles. He also started a new revolution in the field of energy. Tesla's Powerwall and solar roof are not only making homes energy self-sufficient, but are also a big contribution to the environment. Today, When the world is battling global warming, Musk's initiatives are a ray of hope for the future. When it comes to space, Elon Musk's company SpaceX is no small feat, not just a name. Successfully landing a Falcon 9 rocket and then reusing it, it was no small feat. It not only brought down the cost of space missions, but also linked words like rocket launch to sustainability for the first time. And through the Starlink project, Musk is now working towards connecting the whole world to the internet, be it a snowy mountain or a remote village. Now just imagine, if the technology that reaches space can be so affordable and practical, then something big will definitely happen on Earth too. And this is where Musk's next big step comes in: the water-powered engine. Yes, you heard it right. An engine that neither requires petrol, nor diesel, nor heavy batteries. All it needs is a few drops of water and a wonderful combination of science. This engine works on a very simple but effective principle: reverse electrolysis. In conventional electrolysis, water is split into hydrogen and oxygen. But in the reverse process, these two gases are combined to produce electricity, and what comes out is just water vapor. Pure emissions. In this system, water is first converted into hydrogen and oxygen through a special process. Then these gases are stored in separate tanks. When the vehicle is started, hydrogen is sent to the fuel cell, where it is split into protons and electrons. The electrons move towards the motor and produce the energy that drives the vehicle. The protons, meanwhile, meet oxygen and steam is formed. No smoke, no poison, just pure energy. The most important thing about the water engine is that it generates electricity continuously. It does not get tired or stop as long as it has hydrogen and oxygen. This is what makes its energy efficiency special. But now the question arises: is it better than conventional petrol, diesel, and existing electric engines? The answer is as technical as it is exciting. While conventional combustion engines can use only 20 to 30% of the energy, the rest of the energy is wasted as heat. Electric motors, on the other hand, are 85 to 90% efficient. But the battery takes a long time to charge, and their life is also limited. Now, talking about the water engine, it boasts an energy efficiency of about 60%, which puts it at a balance between the two. But its real strength is not just in numbers, but in its nature. It neither emits smoke, nor makes noise, nor harms the earth. Its emission is only water vapor, that is, pure water steam. Now, another big question: range. EV owners are often worried about running out of battery on the way. Current electric cars offer an average range of 200 to 300 miles. But the water engine, which uses the high energy density of hydrogen, can go much further than that, without any tension. Imagine a car that emits only water on its journey. No smoke, no CO2, and no charging hassle. And when the fuel runs out, just refill it like petrol in a few minutes and get going. That is its biggest advantage: convenience with cleanliness. The water engine is not only a technological marvel, but it can also determine the direction of our environmental future. While conventional vehicles emit poisons, this technology is a step towards clean air and clean energy. It can prove to be a game-changer not only for the automobile industry, but for the entire humanity. The most important feature of the water engine is its simple and durable design. It has very few moving parts, which reduces the chances of failure. This means that it requires very little maintenance and repair, and that means less cost and more reliability. The fuel cell and reverse electrolysis systems used are specially designed to last a long time, which not only reduces the hassle of maintenance, but also reduces the cost over time. As the technology advances and is produced on a large scale, its cost will also decrease. Not only this, it will directly affect the consumers. vehicles powered by water engines will easily fit into the budget of common people. This means that, in the coming time, even a middle-class person will be able to use such technology, which seems to be a thing of the future only. But, like any big technological revolution, the beginning will not be easy. A strong infrastructure will have to be created to fully adopt the water-based fuel system. New hydrogen or water fueling stations will have to be built across the country, or existing petrol pumps will have to be adapted to this technology. This is a big step, in which the cooperation of both the government and the private sector will be extremely necessary. If this change is successful, its effects will not be limited to the environment. The global economy will also be affected by it. The world's dependence on oil will gradually decrease, which can stabilize fuel prices and also reduce oil-based geopolitical tensions. Along with this, lacks of new job opportunities can also be created in areas related to this new technology, such as water engine manufacturing, fuel cell technology, and green infrastructure. The introduction of the water engine is a sign of a silent but huge technological revolution in the automobile sector. It is not just a new technology, but a bold step towards breaking an old framework of thinking. So far, our entire automobile system, from manufacturing to fuel stations, has been based on petrol and diesel. In such a situation, moving towards water engines is not just a technological change, but a reinvention of the backbone of the entire industry. To facilitate this change, companies can rely on their existing experience and technology. For example, the technology that already exists for hydrogen fuel cells, such as gas storage, fuel cell design, and the process of energy transfer to the vehicle, can be largely adapted to the water engine. This means that companies do not have to start from scratch, but they can build a new future on the old foundation. But the real question is, will Musk's water engine really completely change our perspective on energy and transport? Or will it remain confined to dreams? The whole world is now watching this. Companies like Toyota, which are already deeply involved in hydrogen technology, see Musk's announcement as a validation of their vision. They have launched vehicles like the Mirai, and now they think a water-based engine will make their investment worthwhile. Hyundai, too, has introduced hydrogen models like the Nexo, and they are cautiously enthusiastic about the shift. They believe that no matter how advanced the technology is, it cannot be sustainable if the market and infrastructure is not ready for it. So they want to create markets for both hydrogen and water engines in parallel. Industry experts are also divided. Some see this as the turning point we needed, where we can truly move towards clean energy. But many are skeptical about its feasibility. Will the technology work at such a large scale? Will it be possible to build fueling stations? And will the general consumer be willing to adopt it? Musk's announcement created a storm on social media. Some people see it as a sign of hope for the future, imagining a car that emits steam instead of air. Some, on the other hand, consider it to be just marketing noise. But whether there is belief or doubt, one thing is clear: Musk has once again made the world think. Although Elon Musk's water-powered engine seems like a revolutionary idea, there are some important questions and doubts in its path. Critics have been eyeing Musk's earlier comments, when he called hydrogen fuel cells foolish cells. Now that Musk himself is moving in the same direction, many experts are questioning the seriousness and practicality of this change. One of the biggest challenges is to create a fueling infrastructure. Today, petrol and diesel pumps are present in almost every city and village. Tesla and other companies are also rapidly expanding the supercharging network for electric vehicles. But when it comes to hydrogen fuel, the truth is that there are still limited such stations in the world, especially in California, in the US, Japan, and some developed areas of Europe. For the water engine, which runs on a hydrogen-based system, The existing network is just a start. Tesla is taking a big step to fill this gap. It is redesigning its existing charging stations to support hydrogen fueling and building new dedicated stations. But it won't all work out on a plan. It requires huge investments, government support, and strong partnerships with the private sector. The question now is how quickly all of this will happen. How much will it cost? And when will this facility reach the general consumer? These are questions that only time will answer. But one thing is for sure. Without a strong logistics network, this technology will not be able to make its place in everyday life. Safety is also a major concern. Hydrogen is as effective an energy source as it is sensitive. It is highly flammable, and the slightest mistake with it can have serious consequences. Tesla understands this danger, so it has installed advanced hydrogen storage systems in its vehicles, which are not only able to withstand high pressure, but can also prevent any kind of leakage. These systems have been tested to strict international standards, and Tesla claims to be working to exceed these safety standards. Safety is being prioritized at every stage of development to ensure not only that the product is safe, but also that consumer trust is maintained. Still, a big question remains: will these measures be able to allay public fears? And more importantly, will governments quickly approve this technology under a legal and regulatory framework? Because different countries have their own rules for the production, storage, and transport of hydrogen, this technology cannot be adopted globally without overcoming all these hurdles. Tesla has actively collaborated with regulatory authorities around the world to ensure compliance with all required standards for its water engine technology. The process involved detailed documentation, rigorous testing, and constant dialogue with regulators. Through these efforts, Tesla has not only addressed technical concerns, but also adapted its technology to suit new needs that may emerge in the future. All these steps have ensured that the technology is not only safe, but also compliant with regulatory standards. But the question arises: what specific challenges will be faced in different countries and regions while adopting this technology? How quickly will Tesla's proactive approach affect the global adoption of this new technology? The answer is somewhat certain, as the adoption of any new technology depends on its specifications. Hydrogen fuel cells offer long driving ranges and quick refueling times due to their high energy density. And this is what makes them ideal for the environment, as they emit only water vapor. However, the production, storage, and transportation of hydrogen gas pose challenges. Hydrogen is highly flammable and requires special infrastructure. A major advantage of water engines is that they enable on-demand hydrogen production, thereby reducing concerns related to storage and handling of hydrogen gas. Also, this method can be more easily integrated with renewable energy sources, thereby further enhancing its environmental benefits. However, the reverse electrolysis process requires high-energy input to implement, which can affect the efficiency of the overall system. If we talk about the market prospects of water engines, it certainly looks encouraging, but there are some challenges too. This can be an important step for the automotive industry, as the industry is constantly striving to cut carbon emissions and adopt sustainable energy sources. Governments around the world are setting strict emission targets and encouraging clean energy technologies, creating a favorable environment for these innovations. Technological advancements, infrastructure development, and consumer acceptance will be key factors in predicting the pace of adoption of water engines. Initially, water engine technology may be limited mainly to environmentally conscious consumers and early adopters. However, as the technology improves and its cost comes down, widespread adoption of this technology is possible. According to analysts, the water engine can gain substantial market share for itself in the next 10 years. provided Tesla can solve infrastructure and efficiency problems by improving production and deployment. This will require collaboration with the public and commercial sectors, which is essential for the successful rollout of this technology. But what does the water engine have to prove if it is to truly revolutionize transport in the years to come? Will it be able to compete with existing technologies such as petrol-diesel engines and electric vehicles? And most importantly, will it find its place in the new energy system that is now rapidly moving towards sustainability? The story of engine technology is not new. The journey began in the late 17th century, when the steam engine was first invented. Work on it by Thomas Newcomen and later James Watt transformed the industry and transport system of the entire world. These engines began to power trains, ships, and factories for the first time, and became the basis of the Industrial Revolution. Then came the internal combustion engine in the late 19th century, developed by scientists like Nikolaus Otto and Rudolf Diesel. Otto's four-stroke engine and Diesel's compression ignition engine became the standard for times to come. These engines were more powerful, had longer range, and were the basis for the development of automobiles, airplanes, and marine vessels. In the 20th century, these engines were further developed. Turbochargers, fuel injection, lightweight but strong materials all made these engines more powerful and reliable. But then, things changed. As concerns grew about pollution and limited availability of oil, the world began looking for alternatives. This was the time when electric vehicles came back into the limelight. In the early 21st century, brands like Tesla led the EV revolution. Elon Musk not only improved battery power, but also solved issues like charging infrastructure and longer range, making electric vehicles a part of the mainstream. But this is not the first time someone has worked on alternative fuels. In the 1960s, NASA used hydrogen fuel cells in its Apollo space missions to generate electricity in space. That experiment showed the true potential of hydrogen technology. However, when it came to bringing it to the masses on Earth, many obstacles cropped up, like the lack of safe storage, production, and a reliable infrastructure for hydrogen. Now, Elon Musk is doing the same thing again, but this time with a water engine. The engine, which creates hydrogen on demand and emits nothing but water vapor, might point to a future where cars could clean the air, not pollute it. Another big chapter in the search for alternative fuel engines was that of biofuel. In the early 2000s, when the world began to understand the limitations of petrol and diesel, hopeful eyes turned towards alternatives like ethanol and biodiesel. These fuels were prepared from plants and organic waste, and were therefore given the status of green energy. But there was some bitter truth associated with this technology too. The production of biofuel required a large amount of agricultural land and water, which directly affected food security and also disturbed the environmental balance. At the same time, electric vehicles also emerged as a turning point in engine technology. In the 1990s, General Motors' EV1 showed that battery-powered cars could also be a viable option. But at that time, the limited capacity of batteries, expensive parts, and lack of charging stations made it out of the reach of common people. This did not change until lithium-ion batteries improved and a network of charging networks was laid globally. Both of these experiments, biofuel and EV, taught a deep lesson. Technology alone is not enough, but a solid foundation and ecosystem are also needed for it. This is why Musk's current project, the water engine, is moving forward by learning a lot from these previous attempts. Musk knows that technology is successful only when the infrastructure is ready to use it. With this thinking, he is planning to convert Tesla's existing supercharger network into hydrogen fueling stations, which can make this big challenge much easier. Along with this, he is trying to maximize energy efficiency by emphasizing the process of reverse electrolysis in the water engine. Because another lesson has been that even if a technology is renewable, if it consumes more energy in its process, it cannot survive in the long run. Musk understands this very well, and hence he is trying his best to make the process of breaking water into hydrogen and oxygen, and then combining it back to produce energy as efficient as possible. Now the question arises, will Musk's water engine be able to make its special place in this historical perspective? The answer is not easy, but the signs are encouraging. This engine is not only environmentally friendly, but gives a new dimension to every step towards a sustainable future. However, in the world of competition, no one is a single player. Brands like Nikola Corporation are already working on hydrogen-powered trucks. Although they have faced many setbacks in their path, they are still engaged in strengthening their hold in the field of heavy-duty commercial vehicles. And this is the same market where Tesla can face a direct challenge, especially in long-distance transport. On the other hand, BMW is also quietly researching hydrogen fuel cell technology. They have also shown prototypes and plan more innovation in this direction in the future. BMW's brand value and confidence in engineering can make it a direct competitor of Tesla in the luxury segment. Rivian, a startup growing with the backing of big companies like Amazon and Ford, is no longer just an emerging brand. It has become a strong challenger. Even though they are focused solely on electric vehicles right now, they have a flexible mindset and plenty of funding in their pockets. If the market direction changes and the demand for hydrogen or water engines increases, a company like Rivian will not take long to quickly pivot its strategy. Their innovation-centric thinking has the full potential to bring them ahead in this race. So if water engine technology is to be adopted quickly and widely, then it is not the job of a single company alone. For this, it will be necessary to create an environment of partnership, open policy, and exchange of knowledge. Tesla has been doing strategic collaborations to advance its technology in the past as well, be it software companies or battery manufacturers. Now, in the case of water engines, similar collaboration is the need of the hour. For example, by entering into technical partnerships with universities that are working deeply in hydrogen and energy research, Tesla can take the efficiency and reliability of its engines to new heights. On the other hand, if tech giants like Google or Apple come together, it will become easier to incorporate advanced features like AI, navigation, and smart energy management in vehicles powered by water engines. Now the question arises, can these partnerships really give a new direction to the future transport system? And can all this together make water engines a part of everyday life? Their answer points to a great possibility. The biggest feature of water engines is that it can be easily connected with solar or wind energy. That is, the energy will be completely green, and hydrogen production will also be without any carbon. Imagine a house where solar panels installed on the roof not only produce electricity, but also break down water to produce hydrogen, and the same hydrogen drives your car to the office the next day. Or power grids connected to huge wind turbines that not only meet the needs of homes, but also produce hydrogen to store excess energy. These hydrogen storage systems will act as energy storage. When electricity is in excess and needed less, it is stored through water and used when needed. Not only will this make transportation greener, but the energy grid can also become more stable and resilient than ever before. A system where one does not have to burn waste electricity to keep up with production and consumption, but every extra unit can be saved for future needs. This is not just a technological change, but an attempt to forge a new relationship between energy and lifestyle. And if players like Musk, Rivian, BMW, and Google come together, this relationship can become a reality, not just a dream. Water engine technology not only promises to revolutionize the automotive industry, but it can also be a game changer for both the energy grid and the environment. This technology helps keep the grid stable when demand is high. The use of hydrogen can greatly reduce greenhouse gases and air pollution. On-site hydrogen production from solar or wind power can become a completely carbon-free solution. Tesla is working towards implementing this technology not only in cars, but also in aviation, ships, and heavy industries. The quiet and smooth driving style of the water engine improves the experience by reducing noise pollution. Instant torque and fast acceleration also make it great in performance. Government incentives, subsidies, and low fuel costs can make it accessible to common consumers as well. In the coming time, this technology will not only reduce carbon emissions, but will also help in balancing every aspect of our life with the environment. If you also want to connect with more such information, then subscribe to the channel now.